is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Weapon Collective. I'm Jeff, and once again, down in the Gat Cave, making a crazy video today. I'm doing my entire SIG collection, but before we get into that, I wanted to take just a second and thank everybody for tuning into this channel, watching my videos. I greatly appreciate it. I'm having a blast making these videos, coming up with the content. And then there's aspects of starting this channel that I never really thought about. And one of those things that I'm really enjoying is connecting with viewers in the comments. I love it. I think it's a lot of fun. And I had a guy write me a comment the other day, and he mentioned he was from Puerto Rico. And it made me interested. I've been looking at my analytics, and it looks like most everybody's in the US. But if you do me a favor, just drop a comment if you're in the US, just what state you're in. And if you're outside the US, where you are. It would be awesome to know. Very interesting to find out who is watching the channel. I dig it and I appreciate it. So thank you. I will do my best to keep making content that hopefully you enjoy. And back to topic, the SIG collection. So this is my entire SIG collection. I was just gonna do it pistols, long guns, and then 90% of all the collection is pistols that I was like, I might as well just lump it in, but it is going to be a lengthy video. There's a lot of guns. I didn't even realize how many SIGs I had until I really went and gathered them all and got them all in one place. Whew, it's gonna be interesting. There is a lot of cool guns in here. So without wasting any more time, let's check out the SIGs. Okay, we're not going in any particular order. And just to put this disclaimer out there, these guns, of course, have all been safety checked multiple times and are clear. I don't say that in every video. I'm assuming you guys know that that is taking place. I'm starting with this gun because this is the gun probably most responsible for starting my entire gun collection. So my wife gave me this gun in 2018, and I had guns at the time, but really maybe 10, 15 guns, and I didn't shoot them regularly. I'd go out once a year and plink at nothing. And this one got me going. And it was a slow burn, but it lit the fuse. And that is the SIG P226, or the Mark 25, because this was adopted by the Navy. And I put a can on it for the video because it has a threaded barrel. This isn't the original configuration that it came in. I did change the slide to a black slide, but I go back and forth because the original slide in this Coyote does have the little anchor on it for the Navy, and it is cool. But the 226, I've recently fallen back in love with the 226 after getting the Reserve and the Legion, and broke this thing out of the safe. And I haven't shot it in a long time, but man, this gun got this whole thing kicked off. I got to thank my wife for that, and she might be regretting that decision now. But this thing is sweet. So let's go through it. Obviously, I got a can on it, and that is the Silencer Co. Osprey. And then a Surefire X300, and then the SIG Romeo X red dot. And the cool thing, this does have a decocker on it, which is always nice to have that option. This one is sentimental because this not only was just a cool gift, but more importantly, it ignited my inner gun nut and set it free. And here we are today. So thank you, wife. And this is the SIG Mark 25 P226. Okay, next up, this is a gun I've never even shot, but this is the P225. And it's just a cool little gun for the collection. Got SIG on the top there. Unfortunately, it is not optic ready. This thing, it does have a 3.6-inch barrel, and interestingly enough, this is the first gun SIG ever made with the side mag release button. So that's pretty cool. But very nice little hammer fired pistol and great trigger. This one also has the decocker, but this is the SIG P225. Before we get into the next gun, I did just want to put a little disclaimer. Of course, some of these guns, perhaps many of them, have been in prior videos. Some have been in multiple videos, but doing the entire collection, you got to show them all. So there will be some repeats, because I know this one particularly was in the Zev video, and this is the Zev SIG P226. So same gun as the Mark 25, basically. It's just zev'd out, and it's a really cool little gun as well. So I've got a SIG Romeo 2 red dot, and this is the modular optic that you can configure to be fully enclosed or open. Pretty cool. I do have a Rugged suppressor on here. This is the Obsidian from Rugged, and then a Surefire X300 Turbo. And they have these nice grips from Zev. I like their machining, all their cuts on the slide. It's a pretty gun and a very cool little pistol. 4.4-inch barrel. This is the P226Z. And then we get into this one, which I absolutely love. This is the SIG P226X5 Legion. So this was just barely in a video. I made my Legion line video, and you obviously saw this if you tuned in for that. So I'm going to go through these fairly quickly. This 4.4-inch barrel with the expansion chamber up front shoots beautifully, has the gas pedal, which I love. I put a Surefire X300 Turbo and a Trijicon SRO. Love these G10 grips. This thing is sick, and I love it. It's got a fantastic trigger. I love this gun. And part of that may be that it's new, but I don't think so. I think it's just a badass gun. This is the SIG P226X5 Legion. Then going from there, we're going into the 226 Reserve. This was also in a recent video, and these grips, man, so sick. I love them. But if you saw the video that this has been in, you'll know how I feel about this finish, this high gloss polish finish. I much prefer the Legion finish. Just more aggressive, just more mean looking. This is pretty, but maybe that's a little too pretty. Fingerprints all over it, but it shoots like a madman. So at the end of the day, aesthetically, I don't really care. It shoots, but if you can have both, why not? So I put a Surefire X300 Turbo and the Trijicon SRO, and same as the Legion, just a different finish. Fantastic gun. This is the P226X5 Reserve. Okay, this one was also in that Legion line video. So this is the SIG P229 Legion, and bummer that it's not optic ready, but it is a very nice gun. It's just a smaller, it's basically the carry version of the 226. This one has a 3.9-inch barrel, while the 226 has a 4.4. Probably a better comparison on this one. So just a little bit longer, and also hammer fired, manual safety, but no decocker. I am thinking I really got to get an optic ready version of this because I love my red dots. This is the SIG P229 Legion. And then this guy was also in that Legion video. This is the P938, a little cool little backup gun is what I would use it for. Put this on an ankle holster or something. Another hammer fired little bad boy. 3-inch barrel, highly concealable, very lightweight. Just a nice little backup pistol, the SIG 938 Legion. Okay, moving into some other small little carry guns, we are obviously going into the P365 line. And that is going to start out with the P365. This is the original little 10 round magazine configuration. You can adjust it to 12. You can barely get a pinky on here, which this configuration is just too small for me. I prefer the 12 as the minimum. I want more rounds anyway. So the fact that, I mean, this would be a good ankle gun too, but it is a cool one. This is the SIG anti-snag sights system, which is very odd. See if I can show you. You look through, see that? So there's that little sight in here, a little tritium sight, and I don't like it personally, but it was designed, you know, so it can't snag on anything, just to be streamlined. And I guess there's a place for it, but for me, not my favorite, but it is a cool little idea. And this is a 3.1 inch barrel. I did drop a titanium nitride true barrel in it. I like the titanium nitride. That gold, I think, looks sharp. But this is the P365. Next, another P365. This one in an Icarus Precision grip module. And this I like a lot more. These Icarus grip modules I'm just obsessed with. These little gas pedal shooting ledges, whatever you want to call them, are just so ergonomic and awesome. I really, really love Icarus and what they do. I am waiting. They're supposed to be coming out with some magwells, so fingers crossed for the Echelon specifically. But I digress. So this also 3.1 inch barrel, and it is the original SIG barrel. But these Icarus aluminum grips, love them. This one has the extension on the mag, which makes getting a purchase on this thing all that much better, and very cool little gun. P365 in the Icarus Precision. Next, this one's been in a few videos, but this is also the P365 with the 3.1 inch barrel, although it is in a ZEV slide. And a grip module that I got from a place called Rocket City Stippling. He does a great job. Came pre-cerakoted and stippled, which I love. I dropped this NDZ trigger in it, this flat trigger, which I really like. I got this Surefire XSC light. It's aight. And then a Holosun 507K. And that is the last of the 365 3.1 inch. Next, we step up to the P365XL. So I have two of these things. So these are the ZEV XL, the Z365XL, set up in a very identical way on the slide, and they both have the same slide, same optic, which is the Holosun 507K, except they have different grips. This one is the SIG Sauer grip module, and this one is the ZEV grip module. Nothing really different, but I need to get shoulder holsters for these, right? So these are the Z365XL. Another ZEV slide with the 365XL, so the 3.7 inch barrel, but this one is in an Icarus Precision grip module, little bigger, still has that magazine extension for the pinky, and this one, it's cool, it has that flare out at the bottom, which is very comfortable in hand. I really like it. That it's kind of got a swell down at the base, which feels fantastic when you got it in hand. Also has a Holosun 507K, but this one has a SIG Foxtrot 2 weapon light on it, and it's okay. There's better lights, but when you're down in this size of gun, getting a really bright weapon light is tough. I haven't been able to find anything that's going to throw a ton of white light, but it's cool. This is a 365 with the ZEV slide Icarus grip. And then the last one, this has been in a video too. I think most of these have up to this point, but this one is like the Frankenstein gun. It was originally the NRA version of the 365XL, and then I think this was the slide for this grip, and it just got poached. And I just took all these parts to make guns like the Icarus gun, and then I'm left with this monstrosity. So it's just kind of what was left over, and it's got the Coyote slide with the gray grip, and it's got the Romeo Zero, which this is, I'll just put it this way, you're going to get what you pay for with this optic. This Romeo Zero, it's very inexpensive, and for a good reason, I would say. But threaded barrel, it is a true threaded barrel in there, and this is 365XL, kind of Frankenstein. So this next gun came out before the P365X macro came out, but you can see the DNA of the macro in this. And this is the P365 Spectre comp. And you can see that it does have that expansion chamber. It is still a 3.1 inch barrel, so it's the original 365 barrel length with that expansion chamber on the end, which is what ended up happening with the macro. So this is the exact same slide length with the expansion chamber, everything of the macro. It just has a different grip module on it. So this one, I did put a Holosun 507K, and then the titanium nitride barrel and trigger came with the gun from the factory, and they did some laser stippling to the grip from SIG. Nice little gun, but if I'm gonna choose the macro over the Spectre comp. And obviously, next we have the macro. And we'll start that with my EDC, which I've shown on the channel a few times, but this is my everyday carry right now. And this is in a polymer Icarus precision grip. Nice, light, but still has the gas pedal. And it is an absolutely just beautiful feeling gun. The ergonomics and the in-hand feel of this grip, I love it. Fits my hand perfectly. This is the slide length of the original P365, so 3.1 inch barrel, but then I put the Radian afterburner and ramjet barrel and compensator combo on here, and this thing is a shooter. I love it. It feels so good. Holosun EPS carry, Streamlight TLR7 sub. It's got this magwell built into the grip module. And like I said, it's just a perfect fit for me, and love the feel of this thing. I've had it maybe 3 months, so I can't speak to durability long term, but I will keep you updated if I have anything to update about. So far, nothing, but shoots fantastic. This is my EDC, kind of a hybrid X Macro original 365. Next up, we're getting into a P365X macro, but this one is in a grip module from Mischief Machine. I think this is a very good looking gun, feels good, doesn't have the contours and like wrap around your hand like the Icarus does, but it does have a good feel. I like these grips. They're G10-ish. They may be G10s, I'm not even sure, but they feel good. 3.1 inch barrel with the expansion chamber. This has a Streamlight TLR7A, Holosun 507K, and a very cool little package. This is the 365X macro in the Mischief Machine grip module. Then this next one is the P365X macro with the Radian backstrap and magwell. This is a Streamlight TLR7X and a Holosun 507K, just a different version. Like what happens is I'll get a gun, build it out, get a different gun, and then end up building that into like my EDC. So I poach a slide from one of the original 365s, and then I have leftover stuff, and that's where this came from. And because I didn't use the slide that's on my current EDC, and hope you're following that, but that's how I end up with all these different versions. And this is the X macro with the radium backstrap magwell. And then this next one was my carry gun for a long time, and it is a P365X macro with this urban cam Cerakote pattern. I got this specifically for the Cerakote and liked it. This is a great shooting gun, very similar to this this Mischief Machine one in feel. I got a Streamlight TLR7 sub and the Romeo X, which I'm torn between, do I like the EPS carry or the Romeo X? The Romeo X hasn't been out as long as the EPS carry. I've had zero issues with the EPS carry, but I like the aesthetic of the Romeo X more. And I'm still torn. I'm on the fence. I no longer have, I might swap this one back to my EDC. I'm just always changing something. This is the Urban Cerakote on the X Macro. And then the last of the P365 is going to be the newest P365, which is the P365 Fuse. This thing is sweet. This is a 4.3-inch barrel, and I did put this one in an Icarus Precision grip module, which, if you haven't concluded by now, I really dig Icarus Precision. These grip modules are just next level. I dig them. The comfort of holding these things is just so fantastic. And this fuse, I'm going to tell you, I've said it in other videos, but this came out, you know, got a lot of fanfare upon its release, and then their videos started popping up, other reports on the internet that people were having malfunctions, failure to feeds, failure to extract, yada yada yada. I've put probably 2,000 rounds through this, and I haven't had a single malfunction. It has run flawlessly. I've run 115, 124, 147 grain 9mm through it, and not a single problem. It has performed beautifully. I don't know if that is just the luck of the draw, which gun you get from the factory, but mine works like a Swiss watch. And I put a TLR7 sub, and then this one has the SIG Romeo X red dot. And this is an awesome little pistol. I really, really like this. P365 Fuse. Okay, now we're moving into the P320X Compact, which is their smallest 320. That is going to start with this guy. So this is 320X Compact, 3.6-inch barrel, and this is in the Wilson Combat grip module. This is an interesting gun. This grip's a little fatter. It doesn't feel fantastic in my hand, but looks cool. I don't have a whole lot to say about this gun. I rarely ever shoot this one. It has a 507C red dot from Hollow Sun, and just nothing to write home about, but it's a nice little pistol. P320X Compact in the Wilson Combat grip module. Next up, we got another Zev. So this is the Zev P320 Octane, and this is a cool little guy. It's nice. Looks like their other ones. Comes with the Zev grip module. This lighting kind of sucks, but you can see the logo maybe right there. And then it's a Hollow Sun 508T, Streamlight TLR7A, and that FDE. I've got these mags with the Henning mag extension, which I like, and little window cuts up top, but they're just for looks and weight reduction. But that's it. P320 Zev Octane. This next one's cool because it's kind of a trifecta. So this is obviously a Sig Sauer P320 from Zev that Triarch got involved and did the Cerakoting. So I don't know exactly how it worked, but I bought this from Triarch, and maybe they just did the coating, or it looks like a SIG grip module, a Zev slide, Zev barrel, and it's just kind of a, like I say, it's just got the trifecta. And I did put a Trijicon RMR and a Streamlight TLR7A weapon light. And this one also has the Henning mag extension. Honestly, if I'm going to shoot a P320, it's probably not going to be these because A, I don't carry these. So that's more what these were made for, these X compacts. They're just a little small for me. If I'm going to shoot a 320, I'm going to be shooting like the AXG Legion. But these are cool. I dig them. So this is the Zev Triarch SIG P320. Next up, we have the P320 from Agency Arms. This one is gorgeous. It's got the big window cut with the ported barrel in there and that rose gold. I've got a Holosun 509T and then a SIG Foxtrot 2 weapon light. And they did all this awesome stippling. It is in this multicam black Cerakote. Sexy gun. I like this thing. It is pretty. You've seen this if you've seen my agency video. That window, the only problem with like doing press checks with this thing, that window is so big that it almost makes it hard to grip up there. But minimal complaint about it. This is the P320 X Compact from Agency. Then this next one, I love it because of multiple reasons, but this is one of the very first Agency Arms guns I ever got. So this is a P320X Compact and got that big cool mag extension on here. This from Tyrant and Trijicon RMR with the dovetail forward so you can co-witness the red dot through your irons, which I like. Titanium nitride barrel. This one has the TLR7A weapon light. And then let's talk about the stipple on this thing. This is some aggressive stipple. You won't be able to tell really from the video, but you shoot this thing and it'll do some damage. It'll take some flesh off the bone, that's for sure. But it is something about this gun I just love. I love all my Cerakotes and doing all these crazy patterns and everything. And then I pull out just like a black and gold gun and whew, dead sexy. I dig it. But this thing is sweet. I don't know. Emotionally, I'm connected to this one. Funny how that happens. Some guns I'm just way more emotionally invested in. And this is one of those. So this is the Agency Arms P320. Then we're moving up to the P320 X Carry Legion. So this thing was just in that Legion line video as well, but didn't have the can on it. This is the CGS Mod 9 SK suppressor, and I just throw it on the threaded barrels for the videos. Why not? But this one, I already talked about it in that Legion line video, but it has the E-Flex. A couple of these guns are going to have this optic. It's not my favorite, but it does the job. And this one has a X300 Ultra from Surefire. And this is the tungsten infused grip. See that color in there? It just adds a significant amount of weight to the back of this gun. And it's no joke. It adds some weight. It's a nice shooting little gun and great little suppressor host. This is the SIG P320 Legion X Carry. Okay, now this next group is going to be a little bit of Frankenstein's because they were 320s that I got different parts and assembled differently. So we'll start with, this one has this gray grip module from Agency Arms with the Spectre slide from Sig Sauer, Holosun 508T, Surefire X300 Turbo, and Agency magazine extension. So it has the Agency trigger. See the little A in there. And this thing is a really good feeling little handgun. Nice trigger, I like it. So P320 Agency Spectre Hybrid. Okay, next up, these are cool. So what the deal is with these is this is a P320, and then there's a company called Brower that makes these grip modules, which changes the grip angle of the P320 to be more in line with the grip angle of a 1911. So this is the Brower M1811 grip module, and then I have an Agency slide and barrel, and then just a P320 fire control unit on this. And I tell you, the point of aim with these just feels amazing. I'm used to shooting the 2011s right for the last little while, so this is much more instinctive, and that dot drops right where it's supposed to be every time in these. I really dig this. This is a Brauer Magwell, and then Surefire X300 Turbo, and an RMR HD. Then once again, got that agency slide with the agency titanium nitride barrel. So that's the Brauer grip module. And then you have the option of getting the Brauer M18 grip module with this more textured, finished, kind of a grip tape texture on it, which I prefer. It feels so good. And just the ergonomics, like the way that beaver tail comes over that web of your thumb. Oh, it's so nice. And like I said, that point of aim is just perfect on this. That dot, like I pointed out, and that dot drops right over the top of this iron sight every time. And this one also, I poached an agency slide and barrel. This one is a ported barrel with that same big window cut. Irons forward with the Trijicon RMR and the Surefire X300 Ultra. And this is that gray agency slide. I think it looks pretty good. My favorite thing about these are these grip modules. Just phenomenal ergonomics. So this is the second Brauer M1811. Next up, we have another Icarus Precision grip module. This one they collaborated with Agency on. See that A in there? This is an Agency Magwell, and then the whole thing's Agency basically. This is an Agency Syndicate slide, Agency barrel, Trijicon RMR with the irons forward, except I don't even have a front iron sight on this one. If the battery on this dot stays on, I don't need one. But I have a Surefire XC1 weapon light, and this just feels another Icarus commercial, but love the feel of these grip modules from Icarus. So that one is the P320 in the Agency / Icarus grip module with the Agency everything else. P320. Okay, sticking with the P320s, we're gonna go with this P320 AXG Scorpion. So this comes out of SIG's custom workshop. Comes in a nice fancy little hard case, and it's cool. It's got a nice presentation on it, but these aren't guns that I really shoot. These are more collection guns, and just has these fancy grips. It has a delta point on it, which isn't my favorite, but like I said, I don't really shoot these things, so I just left it on. And I don't think this has ever been shot. It has a Surefire X300 Turbo, and just a pretty gun. And if you aren't familiar, the AXG designation means that it has this alloy frame. So this aluminum metal frame adds weight, feels fantastic. Like just the tactile feel of this is beautiful, cool. G10 grips and nice trigger. AXG Scorpion. And similar to that last one, this is P320 AXG Classic in the black with the walnut grips. And this one also from the Custom Works shop, as you can see. And it has the EOTech E-Flex, which I don't know, maybe I like the Delta Point more than the E-Flex, but it's kind of a wash. This one has a Surefire X300 Ultra, and similar to the last one, just more of a collection piece, fancy box, everything, and just never even been shot. But this one, I don't know, you know, the difference between these two, flat trigger, curved trigger. I usually always prefer a flat trigger, but this one, that curved trigger is so perfect on this. I don't know. I prefer the curved trigger on this one to the flat trigger on the Scorpion. But that is the P320 AXG Classic in black with the walnut. Okay, next up, the gun that you just gotta have. It was one of my first P320s, and that's gonna be the P320 M18. So this was adopted by the Marine Corps, beat out Glock, everybody else in the competition for the bid, and it is a very cool P320. It comes with that 21 round magazine, which love the capacity, but just looks badass too. It also came with a lanyard, which I don't use, but it is cool. It looks like an old phone cord and keeps it attached to you, which would make sense if you're a Marine. And then this one is a SIG Romeo 1 Pro, which it's okay. Not my favorite, but Surefire X300 Turbo. One of the criteria for the Marine Corps was an external safety. So these are the only P320s I'm aware of that have an external safety on it. This is the M18 P320. And then they did come out with the commemorative edition M18. And that, the only difference is everything is in Coyote. So you can see like the black safety, slide lock, takedown lever, everything on this. It's all in that same Coyote. And then I did get this Romeo M17 red dot, which I don't have a lot of time behind this optic, but I do like it a lot. And it's cool because it replaces your whole rear notch on there. So these rear sights are part of the actual optic. Pretty cool. But also same external safety, of course. And this is the P320 M18 commemorative edition. Okay, bear with me guys. I know this is long, but we're getting there. We're getting there. So next up, we have the SIG P320 AXG Pro. So that AXG has this alloy frame, awesome weight to it. But then on the slide, they have all these window cuts for the slide lightning, heat dissipation. Does have the EOTech E-Flex, which I've said. This one has a X300 Turbo, G10 grips, and 4.7 inch barrel. Pretty cool gun. AXG Pro P320. So next up, you got the Army's version of the P320, which is the P320 M17. So moving from that 3.9 inch M18 barrel, you're going to get up to this 4.7 M17. And I did throw this one in, you guessed it, the Agency Icarus Precision grip module in this kind of FDE. Has the Coyote slide with the Steiner MPS. And these are nice. If you like the Acro P2s or the P1s, these are very similar, much cheaper, and just a nice little optic. I dig them. And then I got a Surefire X300 Turbo with the Agency base plate on the 21 round mag. So this is the M17 P320 in the Agency Icarus grip module. And then this next one is really cool. So this is the P320 Max. It's a competition gun from Max Michel, and this thing, the slide is just super money. So easy. And this SIG red dot is the Romeo Max. It's Max Michel's optic. Except this one, I did throw in an Icarus Precision grip module. It's interesting, it has this big swept tail on it. And here, so you can just really rip that mag out. You always have access to that mag. Good idea. Doesn't have a gas pedal. That's probably a competitive rule, I would imagine. But the slide is just butter. Great trigger. And I haven't shot this red dot a lot, but it's the Romeo 3 Max, and it's a nice big window. I'd say it's SIG's SRO. This is the P320 Max. Then we're getting into the P320 X5 Legion. So this is a 5-inch barrel Trijicon SRO, and this has a TLR1HL light from Streamlight. Has window cuts at the top, and just that heavy tungsten in the grip. Very cool. Big magwell. I like it. This is a cool gun. It was just in that Legion line video. So P320 X5 Legion. It's getting hot under these lights, let me tell you that. But moving on, the next one, this is a very cool gun. This is the P320 Spectre Comp. I love this gun. This is such a fantastic shooting gun. Has this compensator on it and the titanium nitride barrel and trigger. And I got this one just before they came out with the P320 Spectre Comp Blackout, which I didn't get, but very cool. I got this Trijicon SRO in FDE and a Surefire X300 Turbo. Has that laser etched grip module on it with the big magwell. This thing runs, let me tell you. I love this gun. So this is the SIG P320 Spectre Comp. Then next up we have another twin pair, and these were in that Legion line video. These are the P320 AXG Legions. So very cool freaking guns. I have two of them. It's a long story. Not going to get into it, but they are sweet G10 grips, 3.9-inch barrel with that expansion chamber. This one has an RMR HD and an X300 Turbo. This one has a Holosun 507 Comp. It is the Ronin edition, so has this dragon on the side. I think that's about it. And a X300 Turbo. But these things, these are so sick. I love these guns. So these are the P320 AXG Legions. Okay, now we're getting into some of my absolute favorites. And these are the P320 agencies. These things are so money. So you get the stippled agency frame with the agency slide and barrel, agency single port compensator. This one has a Aimpoint Acro P2, Surefire X300 Ultra, agency extended base plate on the magazine, and these things are badass. I love them. This one I've shot the most. I've had this the longest, and the only issue I've ever had is that I've broken the screws on this optic plate twice. Pain in the butt to get them out. But these things shoot so good. I've run several courses with this pistol. Love it. So this is in black. Then you have the agency P320 collaboration with Sage Dynamics, and in this like multiple shades of OD green. I need to get a green Acro P2 for this gun, but it is also an Icarus Precision agency grip module. Feels phenomenal, as I've said. This one has a X300 Ultra and that same single port compensator from agency, and just beautiful gun. This thing is sweet. So this is the agency P320 collaboration with Sage Dynamics. Then we get into the agency P320 in this Arid Geocam. Such a cool looking gun. I love that the compensator and the magazine extension are Cerakoted, the same pattern. This one has a Trijicon SRO and a Surefire X300 Ultra. Just phenomenal guns. Love them. This one is one of my favorites. This is the P320 in that multicam Alpine. I'm a sucker for multicam Alpine. Aimpoint Acro P2 Surefire X300 Turbo. That black on white looks phenomenal. That magazine extension, Cerakoted in that same pattern, and the single port compensator with the rose gold barrel. Chef's kiss to this. I love it. But that is the agency P320 in multicam Alpine. Okay, so we're sticking with P320s, and you're probably saying, why in the hell do you have so many P320s? I don't know. I can't answer that, but I love them all. This next one, P320, but in the Strike Industries chassis. So this is the SMC Bravo from Strike Industries. Big pistol brace on the back, and run it like the Flux Raider. It is cool. I haven't shot this one much. Took a while to get these parts to come in, but nice, cool little option. Fun to run. These things are just cool little range toys, as I've said in other videos. This is SIG Romeo 1 Pro, and then this is the P320 collaboration they did with Viking Tactics. So you can see X VTAC on there. maybe not. Doesn't matter. Drop that fire control unit in it and you have this little bad boy. But that is the SMC Bravo from Strike Industries with the P320 slide and fire control unit. Okay, next we're getting into the Flux Raider. So this is the original Flux Raider that I had. A P320 FCU in there, agency P320 slide with the threaded barrel. Also has a nice little charging handle on there, which is cool. Streamlight TLR 1HL, Holosun 507K. And if you're not familiar, that self-deploying stock pistol brace, I should say, and just cool as hell little gun. Two 30-round mags that you can drop them both and do a speed reload. So what you would do is drop both those, that rear mag falls out, move the loaded mag back to the rear. But very cool little gun, chassis, gun, whatever you want to call it, and lots of fun. This is the Flux Raider with the agency slide. And then you have the P320 Flux Legion. This one came from SIG as a complete firearm as opposed to the agency one that I just had those parts and built it out myself. So this one, same setup, self-deploying stock and two 30-round mags. This one has an X300 turbo and an Aimpoint Micro T2. I think I prefer the T2 on these. This one is just a little more refined, very cool, very fun. And this is the P320 Flux Legion. Okay, we are technically out of traditional handguns. And now we're moving into PCCs, and this is going to be the SIG MPX Copperhead. So 9mm and this cool little brace on it. Pull that out. I've got an EOTech 512, and then it does have this funky little barrel on it. It's a 3.5-inch barrel, but I'd love to be able to suppress this thing, but it is, I don't think you can. I've never really taken it apart to try to find out, but you tell me the muzzle device that's going to work on that and I'll go get it. But till then, this is the SIG MPX Copperhead. Okay, sticking with the PCCs, we are going to the SIG MPX-K, and that is going to be this little bad boy. This thing is a lot of fun. So this is a 4.5-inch barrel, still a pistol, has this pistol brace, which you can fold. And if you're not running a can on this, it's actually quite small. But this thing is a lot of fun. I dig it. And just great little toy. They make a great little PCC. I have a Trijicon RMR on a Scalar Works Leap mount. And then I'm running a Dead Air Ghost on this one. Then it has this 30-round magazine, collapsible pistol brace, pop-up irons from SIG. It's almost full ambi. You just can't lock the bolt to the rear, but this is a very cool little gun. I also have a Surefire Scout Light with this Surefire tape switch mounted to the side. You got to get creative when you have such little rail space. But this gun is a ton of fun. This is the MPX-K. Then moving right along, this was one of my very first SIGs, and this is the MPX rifle. So 9mm, but 16-inch barrel, and I haven't shot this gun in years. But the nostalgia factor of this gun is high, because this was one of the first guns, just like that gun, that Mark 25 that I kicked the video off with. This is one, maybe the gun I got after that, and very cool. I have an Acro Aimpoint Acro P1 on this Reptilia riser, Slate Black Industries hand stop. This has this big break on it. I don't know, 30-round mag, buttstock that does fold, and just a nice, cool little gun, but it's a little long for me now. I just don't shoot it that much anymore because there's not a whole lot of need for a 16-inch 9mm. Cool, fun little gun. You can run it fast, but this is the SIG MPX. Okay, now we're moving up to an actual AR, and that is going to be something I don't see that often, but this is the SIG 516. So this is an AR-15, and it's not something that you see from SIG. It's usually like their MCX platform, and this is just traditional AR-15. I do have a Sandman K from Dead Air on the end of this. The handguard is very short for this 16-inch barrel, but I put this Night Force NX8, which is a 1-to-8 power, in this ScalarWorks Leap mount that is at a 193-inch optic height. It does have a BCM gunfighter charging handle. This is an Arisaka hand stop for the pick rail, which I dig, but with that short of a rail, it is tough to get a great grasp on here. And then it does have an offset red dot with the Trijicon SRO on that off the ScalarWorks kick, 45 degree, which I dig. And then B5 buttstock. And lastly, what I really dig about it is this is a short stroke piston operated gun and shoots really nice. And it's just something that you don't see from SIG very much, that outside of their MCX platform, or at least I don't. I don't see many SIGs like this, but very cool. This is the 516. Next up, a gun that I absolutely love, and that is the SIG MCX Rattler. This is so badass. This one's in 300 blackout, but it originally came in 5.56. But with the 5.5-inch barrel, shooting this thing, there's a reason it's named the Rattler. Rattle the teeth right out of your mouth. It's that loud. Even with the can on it, it's obnoxious. And I figured 5.5-inch barrel makes more sense in 300 blackout, so I got the conversion kit and swapped it out. And it's much more pleasant to shoot 300 blackout out of this. Let's go through it. So it is a pistol. You can get this from SIG. This is basically like a buffer tube extension that does fold, and it just connects to the 1913 rail on the back of this, and then you can put a SB Tactical SBA3 pistol brace or whatever brace you'd like on here, and just dig it. So up front, I've got a Thunderbeast Arms Ultra 5 30 cal suppressor, and then a Surefire Scout Light with the SR07 pressure pad. This is the HoloSun AEMS, which is the advanced enclosed micro sight on the AEMS mount from Unity. I am digging this setup. All my guns are always in some phase of modification. I'm always swapping things out, but this thing I think has reached the point that it will not change. I love this setup. So this is the MCX Rattler in 300 blackout. Only a few more to go, guys. Bear with me. We're getting there. And this one is cool, but it's a little longer than I would like. And that is the MCX Virtus. So this guy is a 16-inch 300 blackout, which maybe at the time made sense to me, makes less sense today, but it is a cool gun nonetheless. Just when you put a can on this thing, and it is so freaking long. You don't need a can, but it's also very quiet. So I am running the Q Trash Panda. It has a Surefire Scout Light that I'm operating with the Mod Light mod button, and then a BCM CAG hand stop. Then we got an EOTech EXPS3 with the G33 3X magnifier on the ScalarWorks Leap 12, which is the setup for the EOTech with the magnifier. Then it's just SIG throughout the rest of it, but I tell you, this thing is lengthy and a little heavy. You can see it's a piston operated gas system. You can adjust it from back here, which is cool. Make that easily adjustable, but this is the SIG Virtus in 300 blackout. Now, another MCX in 300 blackout that I much prefer to that Virtus at that 16-inch barrel length is the SIG MCX cane brake. Now this thing is sweet. This is one of the earlier SIGs that I got as well. I love this gun, and it is just such a fun little package. Nice, small, compact. Fold that buttstock in, and then you're running. It comes with a faux suppressor on it. This one happens to be real, and this is the primary weapon system BDE 30 cal can. And you know, I haven't shot this can all that much, but it does have a dead air chemo adapter on it, because I have been running a dead air on here. But I need to get out. I'm going to make a suppressor comparison video, because I need to get all these cans stacked up against each other. And like I said, because some of these cans I haven't shot that much, and this being one of them. It has a Surefire Scout light that I'm operating with the mod light mod button up here. And then this is the Irregular Defense MHS for modular hand stop. I am running a Trijicon MRO on the ScalarWorks Leap mount for the MRO at a 193 optic height, SIG brace, and everything else is SIG. I do love SIG's mag release button. It's not mil spec, but I dig it. It's nice. But this is a very cool little weapon. This is the cane brake from Sig Sauer. 2 more to go. So this is the penultimate gun here, and this is the SIG Spear LT in 7.62. So this is a 16-inch barrel, so it does have a buttstock, and then I am running a YHM, a Yankee Hill machine suppressor. This is the Turbo T2, and then this is a Mod Light OKW 18350 that I'm operating with the Surefire SR07 pressure pad. Then this optic, this is the Steiner DRS-1X. And if I'm being totally honest, this is somewhat of a new optic. I haven't shot this thing all that much. So I have to get this back out with this optic, but to be honest, I don't shoot this gun all that much. Pretty much gonna take an AK if I wanna go run 7.62. But it is a pretty cool gun. I do have this vertical hand stop from BCM, and I love the Spear, so had to get the 7.62. Does have the folding stock, but it's long. 16-inch gun with the can on it is lengthy for me. I much prefer the shorter guns, and that's why I would much rather run an AK. Anyway, this is the SIG MCX Spear LT in 7.62. And finally, this is the last gun. And this has been in a video before, but I love this thing. This is the SIG MCX Spear LT in 11.5-inch pistol. It is such a cool gun. I love this thing. And it is a pistol, like I said, so has this folding pistol brace on this buffer extension from SIG that mounts on that 1913 rail at the end. And we'll start at the tip. This is the Sig Sauer suppressor. This is the SRD 556QD, and this just lives on this gun. Mod Light PLH V2 18350 that I'm operating with the Surefire SR07 pressure pad. The Regular Defense modular hand stop has the Night Force Attacker 1-8 in FDE with the Holosun 507C on the 45. It's in a ScalarWorks Leap mount at 193. And this thing is, it is 5.56, and this is a bad boy. I love this gun. It runs so well and just looks so good. This is as sexy as it gets in my opinion, but that is the SIG MCX Spear LT in 5.56. Holy crap, that was a lot of guns. If you're still watching this video, thanks for tuning in. So that's probably the biggest collection I have from a single manufacturer. I just wanted to get that done out of the way. I know there was a lot of response to my SIGs videos that I did recently. People wanted to see the SIG handgun collection. And like I said at the intro, they were mostly all handguns, so I figured what the hell, let's just throw in the rest of them and get it over with. But it is gonna make for a lengthy video. I hope you can bear with it, but there are some very cool firearms. Thank you for tuning in. Please comment, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. I'm Jeff for the Weapon Collective, reminding you to keep your weapons collected and keep collecting your weapons. I'll catch you next time.